Gypsy Rose Blanchard has this chromosome disorder right here. Now, this is the poster child for this chromosome disorder. This is actually not Gypsy Rose. And if you want to see something very uncanny, just wait. Now, this is Gypsy Rose Blanchard and the poster child for this chromosome disorder. So many of you are still going to say, well, Gypsy was still abused. You have no idea. Well, let's look at the symptoms of this chromosomal disorder. So these are some of the symptoms of the chromosome disorder that Gypsy Rose has. I want you guys to look very carefully because these are a lot of the things that Gypsy Rose spoke about. In fact, there is a period of time she was in court and she spoke on this. Let's watch that.
You attained an advantage for being in a wheelchair. You said people gave you money. And I think my next question was, why did they give you money?
Because they felt sorry for me. They believed the lie. They believed the fraud.
What?
When did you tell Nick about the wheelchair? That you being in a wheelchair?
I think maybe a month or so after we met.
When did you tell Nick that you didn't need to be in a wheelchair?
A year into our relationship.
So if your relationship began in October of 2012, it would have been sometime in 2013 that you first told him that you really didn't need to be in a wheelchair.
That is correct.
Were you ill during this period of time?
No, sir.
Did you ever tell Nick that you were ill or that you had illnesses?
I told him that I had illnesses, yes, sir.
Did you ever tell him that you really weren't ill?
Yes, sir.
When did you tell him you really weren't ill?
The same time that I told him that I didn't need to be in the wheelchair.
What illnesses did you believe you had?
Cancer, muscular dystrophy. I needed glasses. I needed hearing aids. Seizure disorder. And I can't remember what else.
And when did you figure out that you weren't actually sick?
I started to piece things together when I was about 19 years old. Then I didn't understand the full extent of how healthy I was until after I got arrested.
So even at the time, even as of June of 2015, you still believed you had some of the illnesses?
Yes, sir.
She is basically stating here that she never had anything wrong with her and her mom was being dishonest. And so she believed that. At 23 years old, she's saying up until the time that she was incarcerated, she believed that. But I have proof of otherwise.
They had done some tests and found out she had a chromosome disorder that was causing all of her functions from developing, her digestive system and her muscular system.
Gypsy Rose has defamed her mother. She has said all sorts of awful things about her mom. But what I think is very interesting is she wrote this about her mom on her Facebook, and I think you need to see this. This is about a year before she unalived her mom, and it says, I'm writing this post because my mama is amazing, and she's talking about how amazing her mom is. She will give the shirt off her back, and she's selfless, giving, positive, great role model, loving, she's kind. All of these things she's saying about her mom, and she says she's truly blessed, and y'all gotta just pause it to read. And she talks about how much she loves her mama. Once her mom was unalived, she said her mom had Munchausen by proxy. Now, her mom was never diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy, and you can't diagnose a corpse. So where did this theory come from? Let's watch.
My two attorneys are telling me that my mother has something called Munchausen by proxy.
Now, you might say, Nina, maybe Gypsy still doesn't know she has this. How do we really know that she has this chromosomal disorder? Well, she was writing to Without a Crystal Ball, and let's look at that. She said, I'm struggling with emotions today. The more I hear and read about my genetic condition, the more I worry. I feel like I may have already been a bad mom because I chose to have kids anyway. Now, yo, she knows about this disorder, and she is saying this via text. So did her mom really have Munchausen by proxy? Or she has this disorder that she is not willing to tell the public? And she unalived her mom solely because she says her mom was controlling. But then she said her mom kicked her out. Let's spin the block on that again.
Showered my house. She and I were having relationship problems. I guess she wanted me to stay with her girl forever. She didn't really like my boyfriend. And she was like pretty much, if you want to move to Wisconsin with them, fine, go. And I packed my stuff. She basically wanted me out of the house before then because we kept on having arguments. But I'm not a violent person. I've never ever hurt her. And a lot of our arguments stemmed from being with Nick.
The only communication I had was just to call him to see if he was alright, you know, what's going on. Because I told him to keep in touch and he wouldn't keep in touch. She was getting the opposite way. So I was at work, you know, and she's panicking, so I'd call him and, you know, eventually either he'd answer me or my text or something. You know, and I even asked him a couple times, like, you guys are not getting in trouble, right? Which I wasn't thinking that kind of trouble. I was thinking, you know, like a statement or whatever. Yeah, you know? Right. I wasn't expecting anything like this. Yeah. I don't think anybody was, really. So, what date was that you talked to him? Do you remember? Was it on that cell phone or was it? It was on my phone. On that phone? I talked to him every day he was there. Okay. And you guys knew he was going to Springfield, right? Right. Okay. Did he say why he was going down there? Did he give you a purchase? To get her, bring her up here. Okay. So he's going to he told me that she was kicked out and all that stuff. Well, with all this going on, I don't really think she was kicked out. You know, I don't think she was in a homeless shelter or nothing. Is that what she said? That's what she said. And she told my wife that she was in a homeless shelter. She figured that was she told her that? That was Saturday morning when she picked them up from the station. Okay. Well, that was a lie. Right. To be honest with you. That's how you find out. How do you want your phone back? Yeah. I mean, it's just, my son's never done anything violent, so it's like... That's what he said. I mean, he said that he's never... I mean, what do you think about this? I don't know. I mean, I know that once he started going down there, we always keep a close watch on him because he has... And that's why he been diagnosed with... Okay. So that's why we kind of, you know, treat him like when he was last doctor he talked to, they said his mind is probably always going to be 15, 16, right around there. So we always try to keep a close watch on him. When he said he wanted to go down there, I mean, I was a basket case. I'm like, you've never been out on your own, you know what I mean? So, but last time he didn't tell us, so. Okay. He got a cab and never said anything to us, and I saw a taxi pull up in my driveway. Okay. And I ran out there right as he was loading his stuff, and I'm like, where are you going? He's like, well, I didn't think you were going to let me go. I'm like, well, I mean, why would, you know, it's not okay for you to just take off. You don't tell us where you're going. So, he's never done anything like this. Nothing violent, you know what I mean? That's why I'm in shock. Okay. I think he's madly in love with this. I know. It's like, even when I tried to talk to him about, you know, there's plenty of girls out there. You're a good-looking kid. Why don't you meet a girl at church or something, you know? He just, I mean, that's the way it works, though. When you have what he has, it's like your mind focuses on one thing. Do you know what I mean? Yes, ma'am. So, I never thought he'd do something like this, though. Okay. I don't know. I'm just trying to hold it together because I don't want to lose it right now. I know. I have a little boy at home. I know. I'm trying to explain to him, hey, you're never going to see your brother again. Or, you know what I mean? It's like... Does he have many friends? Nick? Yeah. He hangs out with his cousin, but his cousin's a good kid. Okay. I mean, they're good kids.
She lied and deceived Nick Godejohn, and he's the one sitting in prison. Justice for Nick. Nicholas Godejohn's attorney does know about this. The family is well aware. So Bree is saying that the family is not. You guys need to show up October 18th, and no matter what, let's get Nick justice.